commerce, as well as change the way we live and work as humans in today's world, it's most important. The level of connectivity it provides for different technologies has yet to even be fully discovered, and experts have always said the potential is enormous. Not only is this a massive win for all corporations, consumers, and businesses alike, it allows a whole new wave of products to even be created, and products that had never before had a way of making it to the market, or let alone the bounds of our reality. So, how does 5G work? It's pretty simple, obviously. Everyone knows what 4G is. It's basically just a faster, better version with a lot more options in a sense. So it utilizes super high frequency airwaves, nearly 100 times faster than 4G. Most of these signals are run over radio frequencies and require an update in most equipment used in cell towers due to the power it contains. There are 3 different bandwidths: low band, mid band, and high band networks. By creating smaller sites that connect to this insanely powerful tool, and installing millions the size of tiny pizza boxes, networks can begin to connect us all by city by city. What improvements does it make to the current technology? So compared to its predecessors and existing network 4G LTE, the 5G networks account for almost all limitations experienced in the past networks. There's improved general speed of all connections, along with greater bandwidths, like I mentioned before. 5G is capable of handling a greater number of connected devices at once, better connections, crowded areas with limiting service. In crowded spaces, it reduces overall latency, like I just said, allowing for almost zero response time when coming in contact with the server. So things happen instantly. And obviously, like we'll mention later, this helps with remote access to certain companies and warehouses and stuff like that. And most companies are racing to have the fastest, largest network built, aiming to compete for the first nationwide 5G network. So one of our first discussion questions, since we want to put it throughout the slides, which industries do you think will benefit the most from the 5G network? If anybody has an idea of that, obviously you mentioned, well, I'm going to mention the next slide a few, but the connectivity, the possibilities it brings. Does anybody have an idea of anything that might benefit most?
Like mobile companies, like mobile cellular companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mobile cellular companies. There's one. Anybody else?
I mean, I guess like any job that really demands someone to like be on the phone and be constantly uh like making calls or just trying to use mobile technology all day. I'd assume 5G would be a benefit to them, right?
Right. So when you think about like how people are on their phones all the time, they need that connectivity. It can relate to other things like AI and stuff like that, and connecting to entire warehouses and controlling the entire database almost instantly in a sense. So yeah, mobile phones and a bunch of other things. That was good. Thank you. Next. All right. So what processes has 5G been able to redesign? 5G has been able to turn around many processes so far, creating new avenues in which the company can expand in never before seen ways. So these are just a few companies here. Essentra Components is involved with manufacturing. Amazon is obviously warehouses across the world. And the US Department of Defense uses AI systems. So within manufacturing, it addresses problems like expanding devices and data traffic, like you were saying, people on their phones all the time, um, lowering energy consumption and improving connectivity performance, also allowing for remote control. So like I was saying, people who outside the warehouse need to control everything that's happening inside of it can now do that at a lot faster of a pace with no problems. In warehousing, 5G allows us to automate the processes, track them, and increase visibility throughout a complicated array of systems. This includes, but is not limited to, solving logistics problems in supply chain and finding lost or misplaced cargo. So tracking things is going to be 10 times easier. Just the data that you can save and have shown to you in an instant is going to be completely better. The Department of Defense benefits from 5G as its AI systems have new sources of connection, including enhanced service quality, simplified deployment, higher network efficiency, as well as improved network security. So security is also going to be a big one, not mentioned here as well. Cryptocurrency is going to have a lot more security. Things are going to happen a lot faster. You're going to see a lot more people probably buying into it just because they have these security networks in place that make it just that much better of a purchase in a sense. Obviously, people have been worried about it for years, but I think it'll become a lot bigger in the upcoming years.
I did the track record of 5G. In the late 1980s, 1G was first introduced. It allowed just calls throughout the country, and its speed was up to 2.4 kilobytes per second. Kilobytes is a measurement that data transfers of network transmission speeds. In the late 1990s, early 2000, 2Gs was first introduced. 2G used digital signals and its speed was up to 64 kilobytes per second. This service provided better quality than the first one, obviously. In the early 2000s, 3G was introduced and it provided text messaging and picture messaging. The speed was increased to 144. 4G was created in the late 2000s, and its speed was almost 100,000 times faster than 1G. And then 5G was introduced in the late 2010s, and it's completed wireless communication, faster data transmitted, and high speed and high capacity. You could, yeah. What mistakes have been, wrong one. What mistakes have been made with this technology? The cost of 5G and 4G is really expensive. The battery usage it'll take when you use these signal networks, it's gonna kill your battery, and you won't be able to. You would only allow to have 5G for a certain period of time. Limitations in rural locations. It seems that you guys can make a connection to this because when you go somewhere like PA or out of New Jersey away from your service provider, you get really bad Wi-Fi when you're in like a mountain or something, and that's why. Radio frequency, getting frequency to travel the distance. Companies want at speeds they desire. This is an ongoing problem that's waiting to be solved. You could go next. And what are the health concerns in some countries with 5G, if anyone wants to answer that?
Anybody have any idea of any health concerns that might be mentioned or have been mentioned?
Maybe just like I don't know if it's like necessarily like radiation or anything, but I know that like it's like 5G could be dangerous to one's health and like could uh and like if they're not really sure the like effects of like what it will have on a person over like long periods of time if you like buy like a heavily 5G like located like tower or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they basically 5G basically lets off radiation, and people that live closer to the towers, they could come in contact with it, and it could affect them for the rest of their life.
Yeah, there's been riots about it and stuff like that. People have been, not so into the idea of it, but hopefully they can come up with a little bit more a few more safety precautions before they really start setting it out.
Yeah.
But obviously like the Green Deal coming and stuff like that, maybe we'll see how it affects certain things. But yeah. Anybody else before I go next?
Improvements made for 5G. 5G is designed to support a hundred times increase in traffic capacity and network efficiency. Uh, 5G contains lower latency than all of the other generations. This allows for incredibly fast download and upload speeds. 5G's connection speed is up to 10 times faster than the 4G, along with plenty of other connection upgrades within all width bands. Bandwidths, I mean. You go next.
Okay, it says compare the technology with an alternative process or technology. How does the technology promise a better performance? I decided to compare 5G with 4G because, as you can see, 5G means higher speeds, which compared to 4G was 100 megabytes per second, compared to 5G's 10,000 megabytes per second. Also, compared to, like, say for instance, you had 4G and you were at a party or like a sports stadium, and there was too many people connected onto a network, it wouldn't go work that well. Even if you tried to download something or text somebody, maybe it wouldn't have went through. But with 5G, you can connect up to way more people compared to 4G, and you wouldn't really have that problem anymore. By 2021, there should be up to 438 million 5G connections. And also, downloading a high definition film on 4G network, for example, takes 50 minutes, and on average on 5G would just take 9.
Next.
What process would you suggest to ensure this technology's success? I think that 5G is already a success because even through our phones, we already have 5G. 5G is being implemented into self-driving cars, even thermostats, basically anything that has technology. Um, 5G doesn't only mean faster mobile internet, but it means internet connectivity and more objects that we have seen before. Now networks can serve communication needs for billions of connected devices with the right trade-offs between speed, latency, and cost. 5G is not the future, it's now.
All right. So, what kind of values would it create for customers and constituents of the processes? Is there a better way of delivering the values to the customers? Yeah, not needed. 1 second, sorry. So 5G offers network that has 10. I think it's like it's not gigabytes, like gigabits per second. That's more than 600 times faster than the typical 4G speeds on today's mobile phones, and 10 times faster than Google Fiber standards home broadband service. It's fast enough to download a 4K high definition movie in 25 seconds or to stream several at the same time. Last discussion question. What would be something you would desire from 5G if you had the privilege of gaining access to the network today?
I would just say that it better be like really fast because of like possible health concerns that come with it. You know?
Yep. It better be worth it. That's true. Anybody else? Anything you kind of don't like about 4G or the connectivity you guys have today that you kind of prefer with a 5G network?
I feel like I don't know, at least in New Jersey, it's a very populated area, so it's pretty rare that I'm out of service. So I'm not sure if 5G is really going to do anything for me personally, but I can see as you get like farther out into the country where there's like fewer cell towers, I guess, you might benefit from that, but
Right.
I'm not sure that I'm going to directly experience too much. I mean, I guess the uploads and downloads will be faster, but I'm not sure how noticeably faster it'll be.
It's not too imperative to you, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Anybody else? All right. Well, that was our presentation. I don't know how to stop sharing. Thank you, guys.
Okay, guys, thank you for your presentation. I thought it was well done, and it was interesting technology, very relevant technology that is being implemented right now. I wonder if it is available in the United States right now. I know some other countries, those countries have this technology. They are experimenting on it. I'm not so sure if the US is ready to launch this technology yet.
Some phones already have 5G in the US.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like the newest model of the iPhone does, at least I'm aware of.
Yeah, like I got the new iPhone and I get 5G.
Oh, wow. So Adrian, how do you like 5G?
I think it's better because now I can get service because I had Sprint and then they kind of merged with T-Mobile, so my service was always shitty, and now it's like I actually got service in places.
I have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I personally don't see like a difference in like service. Like I feel like I'm getting the same speed with what I would have gotten with my iPhone 11 Max.
Oh, I see. So it looks like 5G is not fully being implemented, and you don't notice the difference yet.
Yeah, I personally don't notice a difference. I thought I was going to, but I personally I feel like it's like the same thing as 4G. But I guess for people that live in like very rural areas, it'll help them. But for people that are like in the city or like in a suburban area, it's not really gonna like affect them as much as people that like live in the country or like stuff like that.